Yeah, man, it's Friday, December the 8th, 2023. And in this video, I want to go over why I believe computer science will be the end of gang stalking. And it's from a lot of personal experience. But first, let me tell you why I'm doing this video. It's early in the morning, worked night shift, and I'm laying down and I'm getting ready to go to sleep. And so what happens is the gang stalkers that I'm dealing with start screaming with their little voice settings, mostly like girl voice settings, men using girl voice settings, attacking my genitals with broadcast, and they're doing their live streams. They're trying to put on a little show for whoever they can, I guess, and trying to get some activity going, just to do their daily thing. And what is the usual result when they start getting ridiculous and out of hand? I go ahead and start to do a video and think of some good topic. And so here we are. And maybe, this last 20 seconds of me mentioning this crazy stuff got rid of all the people that don't know about truly being targeted with broadcasts and remote neural monitoring. But if you're still here, then you're one of us, and we are targeted. And let me tell you why I think computer science is going to get us out of this. So I believe it so much that about 2.5 years ago, I decided that I wanted to go to college for computer science. And the process of figuring out how I want to do that and getting signed up for everything and actually starting, it took a few months to kind of get everything in order. And then I started over 2 years ago, or about 2 years ago. My semester just finished. Actually, it finishes Monday, I think, or Tuesday. But I'm already done with everything for this last semester, and that makes 2 years complete for computer science. And I'm going part-time, so I haven't graduated yet, but I will have an associate's in computer programming in about another year. So it's going to take me about 3 years going part-time and working full-time to have an associate's degree in computer programming specifically. And then my plan after that is to continue to go and get another associate's in cybersecurity. And then at that time, which that one will take less than half the time, because a lot of the classes are the same. So I just kind of get to jump right into the advanced classes and not take all of the electives and core classes and the kind of beginner computer classes that are required for any computer science degree, and jump right into the more advanced classes for the cybersecurity. So that one will take me less than half of the time, probably 4 semesters. So that said, everything that these gang stalkers are doing is online. They've made it very clear to us over the years that they can do whatever they want to our devices. They can take over any device that we have nearly instantly. If you get a brand new device thinking you'll get rid of them, they'll have it in 5 minutes. It's no big deal for them to completely take over your device. Meanwhile, I got broadcasts all over my face. I guess they think me doing a YouTube video is an opportunity for them to do a real video on my camera and then do their editing and modifications or whatever to show their stupid little characters, jumping all on my face and acting like retards. Now, these idiots are my motivation. They're why I've put out more than 11,000 plus videos, maybe 12,000. Many of which are still public. And I talk about this all the time. I've been talking about this public for many years, and I will continue to talk about this public as my knowledge continues to grow. But think about this, okay? If everything that they do is online, they're accessing neural monitoring online, okay? The phone devices don't control it. It's not something that they're doing with 5G or Wi-Fi. They can use all of those things, but what they're doing is satellite broadcast. It's called EMF broadcast because it has a lot to do with electromagnetics and the Earth's electromagnetic field. It's like the infrastructure for this broadcast, but satellites are what is doing the broadcast, and they're everywhere. There's probably 5,000 plus satellites going around the Earth that are documented. Who knows if there's really 10,000 or something like, who knows? But a lot of these satellites have the capability to do neural monitoring things. And there's a high probability that every human, if not every mammal, everything that has a EMF signature frequency is being received by this network of satellites. And that is basically how gang stalkers are accessing neural monitoring. They have their own, they have control and possession over their own profile or neurological broadcast frequency, and the profile or the online interface or profile, like a social media or something. They have as much control as an individual can have over their own. So, for example, I couldn't, if I were to get neural monitoring, I could not gang stalk these people or attack them with broadcast because they already have their neural monitoring. So if you get your neural monitoring, then you can stop people from doing things to you, at least the normal everyday gang stalkers. You might still be able to be monitored by the CIA or something like that, but you're not going to be monitored and physically attacked or received in any way. They won't be able to come on your neural monitoring at all, as far as gang stalkers, people that do this. Because once you get your neural monitoring, you just turn them off because they're on your neural monitoring and they have accepted this unconsensual connection for you on your behalf to accept a connection with them. Okay, so they're on their neural monitoring, controlling things, and have linked it up with your neural monitoring as if they were you, making this connection unconsensually on your behalf to make that connection, to be able to sit there and talk your head off all day or physically attack you with broadcasts, to receive your neurological processes, to know where you are, to know what you're thinking, to attack your genitals with broadcasts, to put bullshit on your face. All of these things that in a personal situation, like face-to-face, if anybody tried to do something like that to you face-to-face, they would swiftly be met with a self-defense by any means reaction. Okay, and anybody that attacks somebody person to person, they get met with self-defense and people defending their lives by any means. People get shot, people get killed, people get stabbed, people get beat up, okay? And people go to jail, all right? And that's the kind of things that happen person to person. But what these gang stalkers have been able to do is attack people remotely. They can sit in their own house and attack you because they've accessed this neural monitoring system that is based online, whether it's through some sort of command line or some sort of program that they've installed that is activated through a command line or somehow with network settings. I know that they can integrate neural monitoring into any application. So I've witnessed it firsthand. I've witnessed somebody use the Facebook application. Personally, I witnessed this. I witnessed somebody use the Facebook application. Okay, they went onto the Facebook application and then went within that application onto the weather app in the Facebook application and From there, they did some kind of screen maneuver, and it started spinning like an enigma, all right? And they stopped each thing on a certain code, and then it went into some weird screens where they were able to control broadcast settings. I witnessed this firsthand from an actual gang stalker that was infiltrating my life at the time. I witnessed it firsthand. Now, does that mean that the Facebook weather app on the Facebook app is particularly a gang stalking thing? No, it just means that they had that integrated in that way. It's probably a common modified application that they share around. Okay, they can access my phone remotely. They can access your phone remotely. iPhones, Androids, they can access your desktop, your MacBook, or your Windows PC remotely. They can access your Kindle remotely. They can access your Bluetooth Pioneer car CD player remotely. They can do all of this through coding and through basically through hacking. Does that mean they're a bunch of outstanding hackers? No. It just means they have neural monitoring. And if you have neural monitoring, then you can access all of these shared programs that they can run. So basically you can say, okay, infiltrate iPhone, press this button and, point out the iPhone, and it does it for them. Okay, because they're able to access these kind of programs because neural monitoring people that have neural monitoring are able to get those kind of things. It's kind of like the dark web and just the underground side of the internet. And if you get deep enough into those kind of things, you probably would stumble upon to neural monitoring. And so if they can do all of these things online, and I know that they can for absolute 100% fact, they can do all these things on the internet and on our devices, and they're just running these scripts and these codes and these programs that they buy usually because they know where to get it from, because they have neural monitoring, because they're on this underground black market of horrible things to use against people that don't know, since 99% of people don't know, then I know that I can go to school for computer programming or computer science and I can win. Not because maybe I won't be able to just get neural monitoring. Maybe I will. But what I definitely, absolutely will be able to do probably after a couple more years, and that's why I signed up for a many years process, because I've been dealing with these idiots for about 10 years, 11 years, okay? And I've known about it for about 8 years. And so if it's going to be that long, and there's no sign that the government is going to help us. And to my astonishment, there's no sign that these gang stalkers are going to go away. They're blown away by mind control, by putting on this thing on their head and receiving people that are more intelligent than them. They're blown away by it. So they're never leaving. If you think one day they'll leave you alone, you're probably boring if they do. Or they've decided that they don't care to destroy your life anymore. But if they want to destroy your life, and if they have a motive to destroy your life and incentives to destroy your life, and they are blown away by receiving your intellect, then they're not going anywhere. They'll stay there. I've come to realize they will literally sit there on mind control every day for the rest of their life. Because if they'll do it every day for 10 years with no signs of going anywhere, like they don't care, and you wouldn't believe the stupid things I think that just blow them away. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And to me, it's like some dumb thought process. And I'm like, what's wrong with you idiots? What is wrong with these idiots? And I know it's hard for some people to understand if you've never had artificial telepathy, or V2K is what a lot of people call it. or broadcast telepathy is what I started calling it. It's not like telepathy. I mean, it does show that that we have the capability to receive something, and it does show that we're giving something off. Okay, so whether it's electronically and technologically assisted or not, it exists. Okay, so, you know, when you have a strong intuition and you kind of catching that vibe a lot off of people, you kind of know what somebody's thinking, or if you're a very intuitive person, that's real. That's a real thing. That's a real thing. And this assisted telepathy technology, electronically assisted and broadcast assisted technology, it does show that those intuitions and some sort of neurological reception and broadcast is a real thing, okay? Because the machines wouldn't be able to pick it up, and we wouldn't be able to receive it if it wasn't possible anyway. But all that aside, okay, these people that have neural monitoring, these gang stalking idiots that are blown away by it, they're not intuitive. They're not intelligent people, and they're not going anywhere. So, and they're braggers, and they're not very good at they don't even try because they don't even try to hide it, what they do, because they're so empowered by the fact that police or governments or nobody wants to help people like us that are basically victims of a horrible crime and all sorts of conspiracies for people that want to destroy our life. So if somebody you know that doesn't particularly like you, or maybe they do like you, maybe they don't want anybody else to have you, or maybe they are jealous of you, or maybe they're insecure and intimidated by you, or maybe some of all of that, depending on who, okay? But if they have neural monitoring, they could just start gang stalking you or anything to try to destroy your life. And the biggest mistake that we make as targeted people is we kind of help them. We kind of help them to destroy us because we don't have our life together, or we go off the deep end, or we try to tell everybody about it, and our family turns against us, and then it just causes a downward spiral. Stay clean. Stay on your financial game, and start to get on this computer science thing. For me, it's going to be a many years process because I know that they're not going anywhere because I've already wasted many years. And maybe 2017, I started to really think seriously about computer science. And so I started kind of doing it on my own. And then I kind of lost the drive and the motivation to keep doing it. And especially when you're dealing with them into every device you have, and you want to take leaps and go far quickly, okay? Because you want to solve these problems. You're digging into every log files and all kinds of scripting stuff, and you have no idea what you're looking at. And, I see it, because I was one of those people that was, 6-7 years ago, that was saying, no, look, look at this. Or in my mind, I'm thinking like, oh, I found something. And then the more you start to learn about programming and all those different scripts and things that you're looking at is a lot of it's just very basic stuff that just is part of the thing, and but we think it looks very suspicious. So, but I'd like to know what I'm looking at. And so without the structure and, to keep me motivated, without the structure and something to keep me driven towards learning it from the ground up, from the bottom, from the start, right from the beginning, I wasn't doing that well. And by 2018, I learned how to create a website or something that's not that functional, and I could make the pages and stuff like that. But I hadn't really dove into a lot of coding, and network stuff is very important, and Linux and security stuff is very important. And so I started 2 years ago, in the beginning of 22, to do it officially. And so, it's going to take me maybe little over maybe 4 years and a semester to have 2 associate's degrees, one in programming, one in cybersecurity. I feel like by then, I'm almost halfway to that point. I feel like by then I will be very dangerous to gang stalkers because everything they do is online. Everything they do is on your phones. They love to access your phone and take over your device and do things with internet and all of that stuff. And even if you can't get your neural monitoring, you can put them in a very bad position, or at least they'll have to go away from messing with you because they're not going to mess with somebody that they can't even get on your phone. You know, they want to do live streams. They need to do these live streams of neural monitoring, EMF broadcast stuff to survive. Otherwise, they need somebody to support them while they just do it like a junkie because they love to be connected to you or because they're obsessed with trying to destroy your life or just to bother you and torture you because they love it. They're stupid like that. They really are. So that's not the end of it. By the end of that, okay, so we'll do 24, 25, and then maybe halfway through 25, I'll be looking into moving on to like a big boy university. I'm at a local college now. So it's because it's cheap. But you really, one thing I've learned with the computer science is the classes that I'm taking at the local community level, it's the same classes everybody's taking. I can type in my stuff online and like everybody at every school around the country is taking the same courses. You got web development and network fundamentals and C++ and PHP and JavaScript and all of these things. And the criteria is the same for everybody. So I'm perfectly fine with going to a local community college. I do most of it online, and I take hybrid, so I can go if I want to. But it saves me a lot. And if you do the FAFSA, the federal aid, FAFSA, go on there and fill out your thing and enroll into a local college. And honestly, the FAFSA covers most of it because it's really cheap. You know, you're talking like maybe a little more than $1,000 per class. And so you probably have to take maybe about 20 classes for a associate's degree. And then if you go into another degree at the same school for a different computer science category, then you probably only have to take half the classes for that. So you could get a couple of associate's degree in, somewhere between 3 or 4 years, maybe a little more, probably 3 to 4.5 years if you take part-time or like not even half a time or not even close to full-time. And you could do that, and it would be pretty close to free. You might have to pay. I had to pay a couple times when the federal aid runs out. And in my state, Georgia, we have the Hope Scholarship that's based on the lottery. And they, if you have a good GPA, then they chip in like $1,500 per semester. So, you really can go for free. And I do that on the sideline while I'm not at work or, on the weekends or whatever. I'm always studying this stuff. And so I'm going to do that for maybe 4 to maybe 4.5 years. And I'm already done with 2 of those. I'll have 2 associates, computer programming, cybersecurity. I'll be dangerous to these gang stalkers because everything they do is online. Everything they do is on our devices. It's all on the internet. Neural monitoring is on the internet. They're not accessing it in some secret bunker on a special machine that's connected with satellites that they got from the CIA. Okay, I know 20 people many of who I went to school with and like grew up with, or some of them I know very closely and personally at times in my life where I've been very close to some of these people, and they became gang stalkers. I knew somebody that I was very, very close to that started to associate with people that got neuromonitoring, and they suddenly became like this person that had to know about, Android development and having hosting packages and getting Google ads accounts and all of this come together in like a matter of a couple months of somebody that never, ever even had a computer, never even had a laptop, never had a desktop, never had a computer at all. Okay. And all of this happened. I watched it happen in their life. Okay. And then, later, I realized why. I figured out that just got a message. So I figured out that they became a gang stalker, and unfortunately, they became part of the group that does this to me. And unfortunately, they are part of it, and they became part of it. But I watched that happen with somebody I was very close to. And that's not the only person that I've seen go through the process of getting neuromonitoring. I've been very close enough to enough of these people to know really how it works. Not some theory that I'm coming up with and just telling you. I really know how it works. Okay. And if you start to learn all of the stuff about computer science in general, application development, web development, cybersecurity, programming, even database stuff, and all of that is important. Okay, so maybe not now. Probably in 2 more years, I'll be very dangerous to them. I'll probably be making real waves. Okay, real waves. And then 4 or 5 years from now, which is perfectly fine with me, I'll deal with it for 4 or 5 more years if I have to, because I'm going to make it bad for them. Just like they've been making it bad for me. Just like I can't lay in the bed after a long night at work and get some rest without them doing stupid girl screaming voices, talking trash, and attacking my genitals. Okay? I don't care that it sounds nuts. I know it does. I know what it sounds like if I say that. Okay? And I wouldn't come on public internet and say it if it weren't the truth. You think I like just looking crazy? No, there's a payoff. There's a payoff at the end of this where they say, whoa, this guy was telling the truth all this time. Okay, and as bad as they've been making it for me, because they are relentless, just like the gang stalker Black James told me in 2016 when he passed it off to these guys as to be the main guys. They were like little sideline guys, but this group that I have now that's been on every day since 2016, when he passed it off and told me, they're relentless. I hope you're ready. All right, and they have been. But as relentless as this whole group of them has been, and as much as they've forced me to have to go through, I'm not going to forget that. And it's going to be very bad for them. And as I continue to gain traction and learn about a lot of things, I'm putting in the work. So that's what's got to happen. There's no way that the government's going to come out and say, yeah, well, there's this program, or don't get it twisted. I'm not talking about some program, the targeted individual program. You hear that kind of cliche talk out here, and there's no program. Okay, it's just a bunch of people that get neuromonitoring. They decide, I want to do something to this person, so we can't let them get it. Okay, so nobody give it to them. Okay, we're doing stuff to them. All right, and it's like, well, we did too much to them, so we can't give it to them because they might ruin our way of life. Okay, but there is no targeted individual program. It's just somebody got neuromonitoring that wanted to do it to you. And once you've been a victim of it, it's not very likely that somebody's going to give it to you and jeopardize their ability to have it and use it. But this whole system, this technology, we got this technology, and we let a bunch of dopehead idiots get it, and sorry we let them torture you for a decade or 2 decades or something like that. It's never going to happen. Okay? The government is not going to come out and help us. They're not. They're just not going to. And I think that they'll try to suppress it and hide it as long as they can. It's getting harder and harder, though. If you pay attention to my channel, and I don't brag about it or whatever, because I think it's ridiculous, really, that so many people are going through this. But the subs just go up, and they've never stopped going up. And it's just been very consistent from as soon as I started doing this, that it just goes up and up and up. And sometimes it seems like it's more and more. And it's because more and more people are becoming gang stalked. More and more people are starting to see what's going on with neural monitoring and broadcast, satellite broadcast neural monitoring. People that are using this technology in very horrible ways, and they're using it against other people. And this is happening to more and more and more people all the time. And so you could just about run through my comments and every single day find somebody who says, wow, that's exactly what happens to me. You're the first person I've found, and that's exactly what happens to me. I thought I was the only one, and now, tens of thousands of people are starting to come out and say, wow, this is happening to me. So I don't know how long the government will really be able to squash that, because, and it's not just America. This is worldwide. I hear from people in every continent, many, many countries all around the world. And everybody's like, oh, the gang stalking's bad here. It's the worst here. But it's bad everywhere. And the thing is, too, like, if you're being gang stalked by some people in your city, you can move 10,000 miles away. And those same people can still gang stalk you. Okay, you might not get the street theater, stuff like that, where they follow you around and try to make public scenes, but you will get the broadcast stuff still. Still, you will get that. So I'm in it. I'm in it for the long run. And so, hopefully in a couple years, I'll be able to start putting out some information to say, here's how they're doing this, or here's what you need to look for on your phone, or here's how to get them off your phone, or here's how to gain proof and evidence of what they're doing to your phone and drag them into a courtroom. Okay, because I want to drag them into it. I want to drag them through it like they've been dragging us through it. And, a couple years, 5, 10 years, they're not going to make it. I promise, they're not going to make it. Even if they got rid of me, the videos are out there. The knowledge is out there. The pathway has been paved. All right, now we just got to walk down it, because I promise you, it is the correct pathway. All right, so that's why I'm studying computer programming. That's why computer science is the way to defeat gang stalking, because everything that they do revolves around it. All right, so what's the worst that could happen? You get a 100K job, you become great at it. You start studying what matters. If you want a secondary thing, physics, anything to do with broadcast and electromagnetics and light spectrums and energy fields or whatever else, some kind of physics would probably be another good course of study. But I think the quickest way to defeat them is computer science. All right? Thank you for watching.